Hi there, this is garyryanblair, and today we're going to talk about greatness, specifically the DNA, how greatness is made. How the sausage gets made is an idiom, which is best summarized as the way in which a process or an activity is carried on behind the scenes. And for the purpose of this message, we're going to focus on what it takes in order to become great. So what makes someone ordinary become extraordinary? What enables someone to become one of the great ones of their generation? I'm talking about a true master in their area of expertise, the greatest of all time. What is the sausage-making process that leads one to greatness? Is it their intellect, their genetics, or their good looks? Is it their charisma, their leadership qualities, or even their persuasion skills? See, some may measure greatness in innovations in artistry, and others, they may measure greatness in physical strength and speed. And a good number of people measure greatness in terms of financial gain and physical possessions. We see influencers who measure greatness in applause, likes, and accolades. We see sports fans who measure greatness in terms of points scored, records broken, and contests won. And while there's no definitive formula or measurement for greatness, there's also no denying the fact that there are common traits that make great people and organizations stand apart from the rest. There are ways of doing things and thinking about the world that people at the top just do differently. And that is precisely what we're going to focus on in this message. So let's get into it. So there's a lot of advantages and ripple effects to demonstrating greatness. You get to enjoy category domination and greater customer lifetime value. You get to raise the performance bar, as well as influence the standard by which everyone in your work discipline is measured. You get to claim premium prices and higher profits. You develop a legendary reputation that opens the door to more people and greater opportunity, and so much more. So allow me to take you behind the scenes and to isolate 3 of the many ways in which this sausage is made and how greatness is achieved. Point number 1, greatness requires emotional commitment. It was Albert Einstein who beautifully stated that only one who devotes himself to a cause with his whole strength and soul can be a true master. For this reason, mastery demands all of a person. See, it's an emotional quality, not an intellectual one, that separates the great from everyone else. We live in a culture that tends to overemphasize intellect, of going to the best schools and in getting the right education. But greatness is so much more dependent upon being emotionally committed to the work that you're doing. Being emotionally committed to a cause, to a problem, or a project, well, that enables you to go to places that others are afraid to go, to try things that others are afraid to try, and to be the kind of person that others are afraid to be. And the second point is that greatness requires suffering. See, there is no free lunch when it comes to greatness or mediocrity. You're going to pay your price either way. You're going to struggle and you're going to suffer. Now, to live at the peak of your potential, you must choose the suffering that's right for you. You must accept that reality, you must embrace that truth, and you must live with it every day of your life. And the moment you choose not to continue to pay the price for greatness is the precise moment that you choose to suffer the consequences of mediocrity, which is the worst kind of suffering. So be very mindful that the suffering cost of mediocrity is always going to be higher than the suffering price of greatness. And point number 3, greatness requires self-awareness. The ones who are truly great by any reasonable standard have a presence about them. I'm talking about a sense of power and conviction that transcends their current position or their circumstance. And unlike most people, the great ones know, in their heart of hearts, who they really are, why they exist, and what they were born to do. You'll be free to pursue your highest ideal once you discover your reason for existence. So I'd like you to consider a few questions. If you don't know exactly who you are, then how can you possibly bring your strengths to bear and truly unleash your greatness? If you don't know exactly who you are, how can you possibly overcome the shortcomings, the setbacks, and the challenges that are obvious to everyone else? So your vision will become clearer only when you can look into your own heart, for the simple reason that he who looks outside merely dreams, but he who looks inside awakens the giant within. And that is how the sausage is made. Now I'm going to leave you with a few questions to contemplate along with a blast of encouragement. What more do you need to accomplish in order to become the greatest version of yourself? What would it take for you to raise your standards and to become the best at what you do? So each day presents you with a good number of opportunities to step it up and to showcase your greatness. Therefore, I suggest that you seize every opportunity because every day is game day. So get out there, challenge yourself, and start making some sausage.